And welcome back to the exhibit hall floor of the MBA's annual convention here in Nashville. I'm Rick Grant, and I'm sitting today with Jim Hemmer. He's the CEO of CreditXpert. Jim, thanks for being with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So lots of news coming out of CreditXpert right now. You've got some exciting things happening, but I wanted to talk to you about what your role is in the lender community. Help us understand that.
Well, it's our mission, as you know, Rick, or may or may not know, is to make homeownership affordable and accessible for all. And with the current market conditions, there's probably no time. It's never been more timely, I would suggest. So if you put yourself in the place of potential someone looking for a mortgage, they have a lot of different concerns. So they're spooked by inflation, first of all, and the housing sentiment indexes sort of reflect that. You have higher interest rates, so now you've got an affordability challenge. You have home prices, which have, I would say, moderated, but not really come down, especially after the run-up for the past couple of years. So look, it's a challenge. And I think, our role is to fulfill our mission and to, with our tools and working with lenders, try to improve people's credit, to either get them to qualify for a mortgage, or if their credit score is slightly better, to qualify for a better rate. And so, like I said, it's super timely for us. And it is a challenging market, but honestly, the proof is in, even though the market is down, some would say 30 to 50% in terms of originations, our business is not. And that means that the value in what we're doing is there.
That's great, Jim. So you mentioned adding value. Now, you've said publicly that lenders are looking for products and services that will help them add value. What exactly does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, first of all, if you look at what lenders have had to do the past couple of years, you had this massive increase in terms of volume, right? So what do? They hired a bunch of people to increase their costs in order to support that. Now the volume is down. So you have two choices. You're either going to cut costs or you're going to have to drive revenue. So if you look at how CreditXpert can help, or if you just look generally what lenders are trying to do, first of all, they want to attract more leads. They want to get more people into the pipeline. Second, you want to convert more of those leads into the application process. When you get people into the application process, you want to get them approved or close more of those loans. You want to be competitive in your rates. And ultimately, you want to close more loans and drive more operating profit. So, the question is, what about ROI? It's not that lenders are trying to cut costs, but they're not saying they're not going to invest. What they're looking for is to invest with a strong return. So they're willing to make the investment in tools and technologies as long as there's an adequate return there. And the impact that CreditXpert can have on that, we think there's more than adequate ROI for this.
Right. Well, your company's actually gone a step further than that, Jim, and you've lined out how specifically they can do it with a credit-first strategy.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, the interesting thing about the mortgage process in general is credit is really the only thing that you can impact in the short term. So if you think about it, your income, so the debt to income ratio, is really hard to move. It's pretty static. I mean, maybe you can get a job at McDonald's at night, but that's not going to really drive a dramatic increase in your income. So the debt to income is fairly fixed. You look at loan to value, well, the price of the house, as we mentioned before, home prices, while starting to moderate, have not come down a significant amount. And if you're thinking about in the mortgage process, the price of the house is the price of the house. That's not going to move very much. So you have two pieces, very important pieces, that are fairly static. Then you have credit, and credit is the area where you can move the needle in as little as 30 days, right? So you can work with an applicant to improve their credit score and get impact sometimes in as little as 30 days. If they need more help, we can put a predictive plan in place for a little bit longer. So the fact that we can impact credit is really the basis of a credit first strategy. Because what's the goal for lenders? The goal is to help people and close more loans. And by adopting a credit first strategy, we think that's an important piece of that.
Absolutely. I was talking to Mike Darn. Mike's on your team,
Yeah.
in charge of marketing. He was telling me about the MCPI, Mortgage Credit Potential Index, and how 3 out of 4 borrowers, I mean, nationwide, all credit classes could improve their credit score, could make it better by up to 20 points in less than 30 days. That's that's a huge.
It's a staggering statistic, and it's backed by data. We are a data analytics company
Yeah.
after all. So no, it's remarkable, and that statistic, and I've mentioned it in a few of these podcasts in different areas, is staggering. People are surprised by that. And frankly, we were a little surprised by that as well. I mean, that's the value of really looking at the data for what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. Nearly 70% of people can improve their credit score by more than 20 points in as little as 30 days for those under a credit score of 740. So you're talking about a fairly big swath of the applicant pool.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The ROI on that just seems obvious to me.
Yep.
But when you're talking to lenders, are they getting it? Do they see the value there?
So, what we've had to do is we've had to lay out this in terms of real black and white.
Mhm.
So there's really 3 areas that the ROI or the ROI is driven from. The first is enlarging the applicant pool, right? So let's convert some of these leads. We've spent a lot of money for these leads. Let's convert these leads into the applicant pool, right?
Mhm.
So if you can improve that conversion rate, obviously that is going to help ultimately drive more operating profit, which is the gain here. The second element of this is really important, is that credit is one of the largest areas of fallout in the application process, right?
Right.
More than 20% of the people who fall out of the application process is due to credit. So again, credit can help people stay in the application process longer. Ultimately, and this is the surprising thing that lenders often forget about. Okay, now they're approved for a mortgage. Great, let's celebrate. They're approved for a mortgage. But guess what? Our data also suggests that most people shop that mortgage to at least 2, 3, or 4 different lenders.
Right.
So now, if you haven't gotten them their credit to the optimal level and haven't gotten them to the best possible rate, you may lose them to a competitor. So you're going to have fallout even after you've spent the money to bring somebody through the application process.
Yeah.
And that's perhaps the hardest piece of this to swallow for lenders. So what does this mean? You put it all into the blender and you look at those 3 things. How do we get more people from the lead pool into the application process? How do we keep people in the application process longer? And after they are approved for a mortgage, how do we close them? And if you take those 3 areas, I'll give you an example. We worked with one lender, and their leads were around 300,000 leads. So from a base of 300,000 leads, we did the math through each of those 3 gates. And at the end, we found we could save them. We could increase their operating profit by $18.8 million.
Operating profit or revenue?
Operating profit,
Wow.
the margin,
Wow.
right? So 300,000 leads, which is a modest size lender. It's not a massive lender.
Yeah.
Work credit first strategy.
Yeah.
At all 3 areas.
Yeah.
You can drive another 18.8. Now that's where we're getting lenders' attention.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And if you think about the cost of what it takes to do this, it's a fraction of that. And that's where real ROI is driven, obviously, right? So yeah, we're really very enthusiastic with working with our lenders. Of course, our new offering that we announced last week is only going to help this because there's a lot of operational improvements. There's enhanced capabilities that really allow lenders to implement this credit first strategy. And as the math shows, to great impact.
This could be a really good year for lenders that take advantage of a tool like this to be more competitive.
I think so. And, listen, in a down market, this is sometimes where market share changes hands.
Yep.
This is where companies take a step back
Mhm.
and really evaluate what they have to do to get better for the next run.
Right.
So the timing is actually pretty good for us right now. And look, the most exciting thing for us as a company is our passion for our mission. We really want to help people. And the more that we can get lenders to get excited about this and to execute on this, It helps their business. That's the money part, but it also helps a lot of people out there need the help. And that's the love part. And we like to say it's for love and money.
Very good. Folks, we've been visiting with Jim Henry, the CEO of Credit Expert. You're going to want to find out more. So visit the company online. Jim, thanks for your time today.
Been my absolute pleasure. Take care.